show me how to do it. What the fuck is this?
All right. Who would like to? That's interesting. Who would like to earn an extra Benny by letting us all know what happened last week?
Big thing is we made it to New Orleans, and we have repaired our integrally and cosmetically damaged vehicle, our wagon, and then we went to go talk to the Voodoo Queen, who told us about the spirit of water and her and her kind's work to tame the rivers, and that the spirits are hungry and are looking to feed. And then she invited Frendel out to a covert meetup to discuss some spiritual thing that he's connected to that he doesn't seem to have a lot of understanding of. And then we all went to bed in different places.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds about right. Anyone have anything else they'd like to add?
We we almost got scammed by by some
Oh my
people.
god.
Yeah, shout out to them.
I
And
think
it's called
technically we
Brazil in
did
South America. I don't know about that.
I think we technically did get scammed because we did pay for the product that Abigail tested. Am I wrong
Oh,
about that?
Did we
I
get the
paid
money?
I paid a little bit and then cleaned him
Yeah.
out completely.
yeah. Yeah, I
But
think.
first we did get scammed.
With the veiled threat. No, scammed implies I thought it would work, which
Right.
I
Fair.
was
Okay.
very clear
Okay.
it did not.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's essentially the veiled threat of, like, let me find you doing this again. Go
Right.
ahead, let me find you doing this again.
Yeah, I would concur that the although the money was voluntarily handed over, it was handed over to prove the point that they were full of shit, not because there was ever any expectation that they weren't. Um,
Mhm.
but all of their product was spilled out and seeped into the dirt, and they went their way, and y'all went yours. The only thing that I would tweak from the summary is that um, the invitation for friendly is not clandestine and it is not private. Um, anyone
That's
is
wonderful. I want to
right.
go.
Yeah, anyone is welcome to join. Um, the
Oh, right, because I was very much not going.
right. But Marie Laveau was um, eager to have Friendly show up because she thinks that um, whatever or wherever this place is will be of great interest to him. But anyone who likes is welcome. And we find ourselves the evening of Wednesday, the 23rd. I believe the way we have broken up here is that Friendly, Abigail, Joan all have a room at a relatively fancy hotel. Thomas has posted out front of said fancy hotel. Franklin is in a sort of flop house hotel. Cornelius has hoofed it back to the train. Anything you all would like to do this evening?
Yeah. Mm,
Oni, did you want to get up to something tonight, or do we want to wait till later?
fuck it. Let's do something tonight, man.
Okay. Oni and I had discussed Cornelius and Franklin going out gambling
Okay,
since we've been practicing that.
excellent. Let me.
$100 in the dream, boy.
I don't got $100.
We can split it.
All right. Oddly enough, the closest casino is actually on the first floor of the fancy hotel that friendly Abigail and Joan have gotten rooms in. You encounter Thomas out front as you are headed in.
Evening.
Evening. Are you doing anything, Thomas?
Not at the present.
I've been teaching Franklin cards. If you want to join us.
Sure. That sounds like a good time.
Hey, all right, now. Oh shit, we about to make us some money, ain't we? Make us some big money.
I've been told I have a pretty good poker face.
Yeah, you do.
All right. Y'all playing poker? Blackjack? What?
I
What?
play
I'm fine.
poker. That's probably what I was teaching.
All right. Yeah. Sit
I don't think
down.
Cornelius knows a single other gambling game. If
Fantastic.
I'm honest.
Right. Yeah. Sit down at a hold'em table. How many hours do you think you guys are going to sit there and play?
I think after 2 hours, Cornelius would kind of check in with Franklin and see what kind of reaction he's having, and if he's getting too excited, I try to get us to leave, and if he's not having a good time, I try to get us to leave.
Okay. So it
There are
sounds to me,
multiple ways.
right. It sounds to me like what the plan is, right, is 2 hours of straight playing, and then y'all will check in and figure out whether or not you want to keep playing. Is that accurate?
I think so.
Okay.
That works. Yeah.
Here's how we are going to decide this.
Oh
Okay,
shit.
that's not bad. We'll say it's we'll use a multiplier of 2 to indicate like $2 a hand, although it doesn't quite. Yeah, no, that works out fine. $2 a hand, right? Each of you roll a d20, right? 2 separate times, right? The number you're trying to beat for hour number 1 is 14, right?
This is a gambling check, yeah.
Let me figure out how I want to. Let me
I'm headed into
re-roll.
the Deadlands to see if there's some
Right.
gambling stuff. As far as I know, it is just a gambling check.
Right. Let me re-roll my dice. I don't want to use d20s for this. What I'm gonna do is okay. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Yeah, so each of you make a gambling check, right? For hour number 1, right? The number that you are trying to beat is 6, and for hour number 2, the number that you are trying to beat is 8. If you beat it, you'll multiply that whatever you beat it by, right? You'll multiply that number by 2. That's how much you win, right? And if you don't beat it, you multiply that number by 2. That's how much you lose for that hour. Make sense?
Yes.
Great. So each of you make a gambling roll.
And just so you know, I have an edge that allows me to re-roll gambling rolls if I choose
Okay. Great.
to. Just once, though.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Okay.
Wait.
Okay. So on that first hour where the number that you were trying to beat was a 6, it looks like, Thomas, you ended up losing $2.
Hmm.
Cornelius, you made $6.
Woohoo.
Franklin, you made $1.
Hey.
I'm
No,
sorry,
no.
you made $2. You made $2. My apologies.
Hey, I made
Okay.
another dollar.
You made $2. Okay. The number you're
Doubling
trying
your
to
profits like it's nothing.
right. The number you're trying to beat for hour number 2 is 8.
Oh, we got this. Why is this? I feel it in my bones.
I hope you get it.
With the no mercy edge on. Let
Ooh.
me show him.
Oh.
A 4. Come
Oh,
on.
I didn't show him shit.
Oh, let me give that another shot.
Okay.
Not a fan of that number.
Show him how it's done. Show him how it's done, Cornelius.
Okay. Excellent. Cornelius, you break even hour number 2. Franklin, you lose $14.
Oh.
Goddamn.
Thomas, you lose $8.
Wait, watch this. Watch this. Don't worry, guys.
Okay.
We got that money back. Don't
Right.
trip.
And so, based on the initial discussion, this is where we're checking in to see if we want to keep gambling or not.
I see how much money Franklin has put down and is slowly being moved away from him. And I come over his shoulder and be like, "Hey, bud, you want to head back to the review or?"
You see a fire in his eyes that you haven't seen in a while.
I'm gonna take that as I'm gonna
download
heavily suggest we head back to the review.
Well, how else is he gonna win it back?
Just,
One
Here,
more hand. Listen
now
to me. I just need one more.
I will go into my own pocket and I will give Franklin $14. And
No.
then if he like stays, I'm not gonna let go of the money.
I don't need your money. I'm gonna get it back on my own.
just as an aside, like the hey bud, maybe it's time to go get some of that free prime rib discussion. Like that is very real. I've had that conversation. I know that's terrifying.
$2 is
So-
a lot of money.
Can I give myself hindrances?
I mean, Cornelius, it sounds like Franklin's staying. What is your plan?
I ain't going nowhere.
I'm going to
It's like-
stop gambling, but I'm going
Okay.
to sit near him.
Okay, Thomas, what about you?
Look, if the Saints playing, I'm playing.
Yeah, let's right. Let's see those quote unquote gambling rolls. Oh, I got to roll too. Hold on.
The blind will lead the blind this day.
Right.
I want to keep rolling, but Cornelius is scared.
All right. The number you're trying to beat's a
Nice.
5. I see somebody's crushing it. All right. Looks
That's not-
like, Thomas, in hour 3, you have lost $8. Franklin, you've made back $8.
All right. All right. All right. You know what? This is where I call it quits.
Did good. Pretty
We
good.
don't leave on the loss. We never leave on the loss.
Cool. Yeah, it's about midnight.
I'll make sure Franklin. Do you want to head back? I mean, you want to go back to the other hotel? I'm head to the train. I'm gonna sleep in my own bed.
Go ahead. I already spent the money on the goddamn hotel, so I'm gonna go there.
Do you need any more after that? Shoulder towards the table.
Oh, I'm gonna go in my fucking pocket. I don't have a wallet. I'm gonna show you. I have $97 on my person already.
All right. Okay.
money
All
on
right.
it.
Just don't get a wallet. Someone's gonna take that or try.
No, they're
Well, they're
not.
not gonna. You're right. All right. I'll shut up. Good night.
All right. See you, Mike.
Cool. I guess a successful gambling evening. Certainly.
Boys' night. We had a good
Right.
time. Successful.
Absolutely. Yeah. Good time was had by all,
Team
including
was bad.
the house, who made a little cash. Okay. Yeah, there is.
I'm getting extremely lucky with these gambling rolls, by the way.
That was awesome. I'm also going to write down the rules that you made, Adam,
Mhm.
in a little note on my character, or actually
Great.
maybe the group notes. That way,
Actually, I got
if we want to
100
look at that
even.
again.
Perfect. Let me look at a couple things here.
So really, I only lost $4.
Yeah, you did good.
Yeah. Nothing interesting at the flop house this evening. Nothing interesting at the train car, and uneventful at the hotel as well. Everyone can get a nice night of rest. Okay. Who's doing what in the morning, and when are they doing it?
One more. Anybody have ideas what they're going to do in the morning?
What time is the thing for Frendel that everyone wants to go to? Or is that's on hold? Never mind, because Cody's not here.
No, I've covered it with Cody. We're just gonna roll
Okay.
through it, right?
right.
We'll
Okay.
it like 10:30 in the morning.
10:30.
Think I get washed and cleaned and then get ready for that.
Okay. About what time are you getting up and going, Cornelius?
He's probably comfortable getting up with dawn.
Okay. So early. Got it.
Yeah.
And where are you all meeting at the location, or somewhere else?
I think we
Want
could
to go
meet
get
there.
breakfast?
We could meet up for breakfast. Yeah.
I
At
need
the
me
fr-
some
we wanna go to the-
beignets.
Do we want to go to the French market? We were recommended to.
Yeah. They definitely have like food over there, right?
Oh, I mean, absolutely.
Yeah, let's go to the French market before we go all the way out there.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
Can join you for the first part at least.
The friendly Abigail, Joan, and Thomas, you are on your way to the market in the French Quarter. Nothing particularly eventful happens. Franklin, you've got a little bit longer walk, as you are not in sort of a central part of town. You're off of a back alley, maybe half mile away or so. Cornelius, you've got an even longer walk as you are in the train yard. While everyone else has a relatively uneventful walk to the French market, Cornelius, you you hear the thundering of hoofbeats and the rattle of a stagecoach. Can you make me an athletics roll, please?
Yeah, just 1 second. I'm setting up my kid's jukebox.
Yeah, no worries.
There you go, buddy. Okay, now it's playing music. Okay. Okay, you said athletics
Yep.
for an incoming cart and horse. Isn't gonna go good. Oh. Oh.
Oh,
Pretty
yeah.
good.
I mean, this isn't the that's such a good roll. It doesn't even look like an athletic maneuver. You hear this thing coming, you take a couple quick steps, you're back up under an awning of a nearby shop as two stagecoaches go by at an incredible speed. You see sort of standing up in the driver's location. There's someone, there's another person there as well, but standing up, you see an African American woman firing shots into the air. To just you can just barely hear as she rolls by. Well, thank you, New Orleans. You've been a lovely town to rob. You have been robbed by the La La Gang. Be well, everyone. And she chucks a bag of money into the air. And people go crazy. Like some people are cheering and applauding. Other people are rushing into the street to grab the money. And still yet a third group of people are throwing things, including like horse shit that they're picking up from the ground at three people on horseback that appear to be chasing these people. The chase ends pretty abruptly as there's now people in the middle of the street. They're getting pelted with mud and literal shit. And yeah,
I want to cast deflection on her and her gang as they're running out. I would like to cast a spell to protect them as they leave.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I
guess I have to roll to do that.
Yeah, please. Yeah, roll to do that.
Oh my God, Benny, what the fuck?
Okay.
The game doesn't want them to win.
Actually, here,
Unbelievable.
let me do that. There we go. Yeah, fantastic.
Jesus.
You're not certain. I mean, they're moving fast, right? So you can't be sure, right? But actually, make me a notice roll before I start running my mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really hard to tell. You can't be sure, but you'd like to think, right, that when she tipped her hat just then, that she was looking at you specifically for that spell. Hard to tell if that's the case, but
Oof.
timing works out, and it's a nice story. And they're off. The 2 stagecoaches are off with whatever else they've stolen besides this bag of cash that people are scrambling over.
I think I linger for a second to kind of make sure the common people here aren't harassed by anyone who is trying to pursue her. And then I'll catch up with where I'm headed.
Well, I mean,
I don't think
whoever
nothing's
was
gonna happen, but that's what
right.
I do.
I mean, whoever was in pursuit, what you witness, right, is they at first they try and get around the crowd, but the horses are freaked out. I mean, it becomes pretty clear to them pretty early that they are not catching the Lala Gang.
Yeah.
In part because the Lala Gang, like, you've seen horses and carriages, and Lala Gang was moving fast, like unnaturally fast, right? So these 3 that were on horseback, they give up the chase pretty quickly. But what they do is they hitch their horses and they start trying to collect whatever money they can, and put it back in the bag. And they're not resorting to any sort of violence, but they're not being gentle either. They're pushing these people out of the way as they're scrambling for whatever money they can grab. And
is this police? Or are they just people?
I don't know. I mean, I know, but I don't know that it's clear to Cornelius at this point.
Yeah, I think I put on my community leader voice a little bit if I see people starting to get rough and kind of like stepping up. Nobody here knows who the fuck I am, but I can still put on big room voice and say, "Get your hands off that person," kind of thing.
Right. Who the fuck are you?
Yeah, that's
not listening to you at all.
Yeah, there's no spine behind most of it, but he's doing what he can. I think I'm going to avoid casting any magic on the people here, but I did think about it.
As you hang out a little bit, it becomes clear, wow, these people are not, it's not the local sheriff or it's not a marshal or anything like that, but they're employees of the bank. They're hired security from the bank. So whatever authority they have comes directly from the bank that has been robbed. But I mean, clearly, one thing that you can glean just from the way this very brief interaction that you've witnessed has unfolded, it is even more clear why the Lala Gang has not been caught. A good number of people here clearly have no interest in the Lala Gang being caught. Much more on their side than those that were robbed. That's it. They're gone.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, slowly but surely they the crowd disperses. The bank security takes whatever notes they can and heads back to the bank, and you are able to meet up with the rest of your gang the French Market.
While we are having breakfast, I will tell them that I saw Miss LaForge and her gang leaving town after having robbed a bank. And I was like, I suppose I saw the end of a bank robbery.
There's a large bounty out for them.
Yeah, but just because it's the law don't mean it's right.
Still, it is the closest we've been to them, apparently.
It seems lovely.
You think they might be staying in town, or you think they'd be moving on?
Oh, they are gone. I think it would be damn foolish of them to stay.
I find it curious that our paths have been crossing, and yet here they cross again.
That's interesting. I suppose have we crossed paths with any of them before? I thought we had mostly only seen that folks were looking out for them,
Only the posters,
right?
but it's a wide west out here, and the fact that we've come across many in our travels, and now apparently them themselves. It's just interesting.
Sean, are you thinking that they have been in every town that we have found a wanted poster of them in?
I'm thinking that they've been in a lot of places that we've been in.
Okay.
It's just odd that of all the places and cities in this country, we keep running across their trail.
My understanding was that because we've been seeing them at the post office, these were being mailed out to post offices so that the word got spread.
It could very well be just
I
a
do.
simple coincidence,
I
but
don't know. I just wanted to verify I wasn't missing an encounter with them. We'd
no,
had.
there's not like a secret thing or anything. Yeah, it's just like an observation of like, not that there's causation, but there is correlation.
Yeah, I could recognize her by face, despite the fact I've never met her before.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Which is the whole point.
I mean, is it that we just are also traveling in the same kind of, like, we are
Maybe.
following them? Who
Maybe.
knows? Who knows?
We've gone back and forth across this great nation a handful of times.
Yeah, yeah. I'd be curious if, well, maybe it's a stretch, but what if they've seen something?
If
I
I
mean,
had the opportunity, I think I would like to pick her brain, but they move unnaturally fast. They ride like you wouldn't believe, and that's them getting away without even all the other folks who were helping them escape. There's a craft about them, I think,
hmm.
which is intelligent. Probably one of the reasons they're as, I don't want to say the word dangerous, but I guess at large, as much of a threat to the people who are interested in having her arrested as she is.
It would be interesting to see if we could ever truly cross their path.
She did almost hit me. That's about as close as I think I'm hoping to get. But if we can get, it'd be nice to talk with her, I think.
Yeah, I'd like to meet him. Oh God.
Joan, you doing all right being this close to home?
I'm doing better than I anticipated doing. I'm rather glad to be here, but uh, I do find myself twitching a little nervously.
Man, shit.
I'm sure it's just nerves that make Jones twitch.
If we have time before we leave, maybe we should check by one of the post offices and see if any of Downs' posters might be on any of them.
I think that might be worth checking in. The last time I went to see if I could get information, they started asking me questions, and I didn't know what to do or what to say, and I just.
We'll maybe take a gander. Don't have to ask no questions.
Mhm.
Ugh. So we're going to market, right? That's where we're going. That's where we at.
I think that's where I think it's where we are.
Yeah, I
Shit,
believe this
well,
is
I
the
wanna-
conversation being had over breakfast before heading to the location that I believe it was on Decatur Street that Marie Laveau had given you all to meet this morning.
Yeah, okay, I just want to make sure.
We're sure this isn't a date for Frendel.
I know for a fact this ain't got no goddamn date.
And if it were,
Uh,
I'm more inclined to go.
I just got to see it
Right.
happen. Honestly, if it was.
I'm very excited for my first date with you, so I've brought along 5 of my friends.
I'm not wearing a mask, but I just imagine in that scenario, Franklin is
on.
wearing the mask as
Are-
it was.
Is Franklin wearing the mask right now?
No, not right now.
Okay.
How about
After the
eating?
barber shop.
Yeah, he lifts up the bottom to put food
Right.
in and puts it back there. Yeah.
Oh my god. As soon as we get there, I got to put the mask on for the day.
Gotta put my
Don't
face
mind me,
on.
I'm not here.
Got to put
Putting
my
head
face
mode
on, and that
activated.
right. And the tailor's hood comes down. Nightmare.
What do you mean you didn't get a second date?
Bro, what? I
Right.
thought you did amazing, man.
Every-
My
Listeners
food-
yesterday,
come to
you're a
me.
real catch.
Everything was going fine until I said I had to put my face on.
I kept looking at her and nodding, letting her know it was going good. It was going good.
I was engaged.
Yeah, let's crash Friendly's date.
Great.
Yeah, let's go crash. There, man.
All right. Not a long walk, probably 10. Yeah,
Abigail is not going to that.
great.
You
Well,
want to meet us somewhere specific, or
I have no idea where that would be, but Abigail is. Oh no, a hidden event to talk about all kinds of supernatural and have to listen to the chorus of voices. No, thank you. I will be back at the hotel patronizing someone.
Okay. Excellent. Abigail heads off in one direction. The rest of you head off in the other. Purchasing some services, Abigail? To bide your time?
Yeah, sure.
Understood.
sounded so lackluster. If I must,
I got it, man.
fine. I've got money
Okay.
burning in my pocket anyway.
Another record-breaking orgy again.
I got news for
I
you.
do what I must for these people.
Yeah,
And they
that's.
talk about the Lala gang giving out.
I don't know that that's a record that you're going to be able to break in New Orleans.
Challenge accepted.
You
Especially when I
fool.
have all kinds of. I am sitting here with in my inventory 2 items titled
Right.
Tactile desensitizers.
Right.
Somebody's
Next.
lasting.
Right. Next month's headline in Tombstone Tattler. 3-week orgy in New Orleans continues on.
All right. I will.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
Abigail is doing what Abigail does while the rest of you head to Decatur Street. As you get close, you see the location that Marie Laveau has told you about. It's easy to spot, among other reasons, because Marie Laveau is standing out front. It is a rather plain 2-story building, big, wide double doors that are both propped open, and above the doors, carved into stone, it says New Orleans Society of Friends. And Marie Laveau is just grinning at Friendly as you all approach. She welcomes you as you do, puts a finger to her lips and says, "Shh, they are getting started shortly. Come in and take a seat." And you walk into a large, sparsely furnished room with a table in the center of it and wood chairs and benches, all facing inwards along the 4 sides of the room. There's, I don't know, a dozen, maybe 15 people that are in here, and hands folded in their lap. There doesn't seem to be anyone sort of in charge or leading anything. People are just seated quietly. Marie Laveau takes a seat and makes herself comfortable.
Do the same if that is encouraged.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get comfortable, find me a seat, put the mask on.
What's the mask on? That's like,
Okay.
Go to sit down in a chair. As my weight sits on it, the wood begins to creak.
Somebody comes up and taps you on the shoulder and just says, perhaps over here, and points to a bench.
Sure thing.
Great. As you all sit here, again, there's no one really in charge. It's just everybody sort of sitting here quietly. Every now and then, somebody stands up and, says something as they are driven to do by whatever. A lot of it seems to be of the I know many people find it hard to maintain their faith with all the strangeness and evil in the world, but I find it's all the more reason for me to keep mine. Others stand up and express a little bit more doubt. That goes on for probably 35 minutes. And then towards the end, there's a extended period where no one stands up and says anything, and people slowly start getting up and leaving. As virtually everyone has left, Marie Laveau stands up and she waves a short, thin, sort of older man, probably late 50s, waves him over. Jonathan Martin, this is Friendly and Friendly's friends. Friendly, this is Jonathan Martin. Jonathan Friendly is the one that I've told you about. Jonathan shakes his hand warmly and then extends his hand to the rest of you to shake.
Shake his hand.
As he is making introductions, he asks, did Marie tell you about the snakes?
What now?
Yes,
You mean
The sky snakes?
Shambhala? Yes.
Yes, I do love that story. Such a poetic way to explain the problem that we find ourselves in here. Well, Friendly, Marie says that you are a Quaker? Friendly explains that he is not, and that there has been some misunderstanding. Perhaps the name Friendly, Society of Friends, the fact that he hears the one voice, the voice behind voices, and here at the Quaker Meeting House, people stand when they are driven by the voice. Johnson says, "Well, I understand. It's similar, but not the same. That's fine. We are still happy to have you. I understand that you have some particular connection to the divine." Friendly does Friendly explains that he does, and after a little bit of prompting, does a little bit of a demonstration. Jonathan says, "Oh, well, that is interesting. I've heard rumors of this sort of thing. Never thought I'd see one. I've heard some old timers refer to your kind as a conduit, one that has a more consistent and direct connection to the divine. Most of us, well, we're lucky if we hear that voice once or twice a week, but it seems that you not only hear it consistently, but are gifted with some of its magnificent presence and powers. You're not, although you're the first conduit that I have met, I have heard of another. There was an individual, rumor has it, going around to Quaker meeting houses up north, maybe 3-4 years ago, going from house to house, explaining to people that he had this direct connection that others in the Quaker community did not have, and that required these others to follow him. Well, I don't know how much you know about the Society of Friends, but we're not much for following. We're very big on tolerance and acceptance and individual freedom, but following is not really our cup of tea. So, as I understand the stories, as rumors were passed down to me, he did not find most of his visits welcoming and grew frustrated. And eventually took the few people that did decide to follow him and went into seclusion up by the Sioux Nations. You know, if I don't know if you find that helpful or not, but should you be interested in finding another with similar talents, well, at least now you have the information on which you can act. My instructions from Cody were that Friendly sort of nods and accepts this and is excited that there's another individual, is not particularly excited that the individual could perhaps use a little bit more chill, but is sort of content at this point to just know that, okay, there's somebody else out there, and I'm sure just as this voice has helped me find the way, I'm sure it will help this individual find the way. I will, suggest that if any of you have questions for Friendly, write them down so that you can ask Cody when he returns next week. But if you've got any questions for Jonathan or Marie regarding this particular situation or these particular rumors, you can certainly ask those now.
Did you ever get the name of that fella?
I did not. I'm sure a couple people might have said something to me, but it was several years ago and strange, but not so strange. We do from time to time get people coming here and standing up and saying some unusual things. So I don't know that it would have stood out enough that I would think to remember specific details all these many years later. I just know tried to get some followers, was unsuccessful, seemed pretty ornery about the whole thing, and rumor has it that he took the few that he had further north to the edge of the Sioux Nations. Whether or not that's true, who knows? For all I know, I mean, like I said, I'd never met this person. For all I know, he was just some quack and has nothing in common with Friendly here.
Did you say he was north of the Sioux Nations or north
He
near?
he let me look on the map here.
Yeah, no problem.
What he is describing is that he was doing some circuit, probably Iowa, Illinois, Missouri, Kansas, Nebraska, like in that sort of area, like hitting Quaker meetings, right? Didn't find, so the meetings he was going to is north of New Orleans, and then when he didn't find any, welcoming meetings, he went further north to the edge of the Sioux Nations, right? And went into seclusion. What that means, whether he went into the Sioux Nations themselves or was just sort of on the edge of them, right? Unclear.
All right. That'll still be enough to go off of.
Well,
I
Mm.
I might engage this guy a little bit, like, about how this place kind of operates in a casual way, but the
Mm.
finer details of that matter a little bit less.
All right. Well, I mean, he like as this conversation goes on, he invites you into a back room just to sit down, have some tea, right? And he closes the doors to the main meeting room, so you have a little privacy. And he says, "I understand you are um, allied with Miss Laveau and um, that wealthy stranger from the north who want to take some action and see that we get to the bottom of these strange going ons out west. Is that accurate?"
Yes.
Well, what have you found so far?
Well, these uh, groups of folks have been dumping bodies into the river to feed spirits or something in it.
Mm.
Everything's headed down south on the Mississippi. I don't know much about river trade or much about how some of these older beings be someone as big or powerful as Mississippi wanting as much blood as it was being given. We did a lot to stop uh, most of the harm that was being done, but we didn't stop all of it.
Hmm.
I think we're lost. I think as to how we may be able to perhaps help Miss Laveau, and if it were the case that this thing is still needing food or to be feeding, how do we stop it or appease it or protect the people and
Hmm.
blame, I suppose, the world, given that it would appear there are creatures trying to destroy it, create chaos across the surface of it.
Well, I would argue that you clearly have some idea of what to do, or you wouldn't be here. You say you ended this particular threat of bodies being soured and soiled and then fed into the waters to leach their evil into whatever's underneath. You've clearly impressed a great number of people. And he nods to Marie Laveau, our loose affiliation of like-minded individuals, we can use all the help we can get. So what dangling threads are out there that you are still curious about, still wondering about, think that might lead you somewhere?
We know most of the hellhounds of, well, I believe now all of the Hellhounds, a gang that had been starting all of this trouble. I believe we've seen the last of them to their grave. Nearly. Uh, I'll look to everyone else and kind of gauge whether or not that sounds right.
Hmm.
I
I'm
mean,
looking
it's
away.
not that we exterminated their members or anything like that, but, cut the head off the snake and destroyed the snake's giant flesh golem friend. So,
Going back through my notes to look for other thoughts we have. We do know that there have been flesh jackets around, but we know that the ultimate motivations behind making flesh jackets was to make bodies. Bodies have been dumped in the river. The golem has been made and been destroyed. It was feeding the evil. Let's see. Something and doing great works in New Orleans. That's it. That's where my notes end. Is I guess we have like in theory Santa Fe may have something way back there, but that's a bit. I don't know if I have enough information about leads that are in Santa Fe.
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, everything was kind of pointing us towards here.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, what we really need to know about is this society. What I forget the name of it, but we need to know where they are and
the
begin
Laborers
look.
Relief and Aid Society.
Hmm. I think finding out the who, what, and where of it will begin to illuminate something.
Hmm. Well, that that does seem odd. I mean, they are pretty well known charitable organization. Hmm. Well, as I understand it, Marie, you have put out some feelers, and I'm sure your benefactor has done the same. We'll put our heads together. Maybe I'll send a telegram to that newspaper man out of Kansas City. See if he can go back through his archives and find anything. Meanwhile, if there is anything that we can help you with while you're here in New Orleans, we'd be happy to do what we can. I don't know what Marie has told you, but we work pretty closely together, try and keep this city safe in particular, but to try and reverse whatever it is that has the evil spreading across this land. I know there are many from my faith or similar faiths that believe that the four horsemen of the apocalypse have been let loose on this land and are already riding, and we are now just waiting for the various horns to blow. But I do not believe that story to be prophetic, but rather cautionary. And I think it gives us a roadmap. Even if it is true, it gives us a roadmap of what to expect so that we may combat it. Not so that we must resign ourselves to our fate. I know, wow, the story she tells is quite different. I know Marie feels the same way, that we can still act, and there is still time to make a difference. While our friends in the Coyote Confederation, the Comanche and the Choctaw, they may not trust us, and with good reason. But we do have an alliance of necessity. For what affects us affects all. And these forces do not care whom they prey upon. I do hope that your early tentative steps into this endeavor are merely the beginning of great things, for we can use all the great warriors that we can get. Y'all are welcome to stay as long as you like, but I think Marie and I are going to go for a little stroll. He crooks his elbow out. Marie puts her hand through it. She sort of wags a finger at Friendly. It's like, I know you're pulling my leg. I know you're one and the same with these people. And Marie and Jonathan Martin walk out and leave you in the back room of the Quaker Meeting House.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
I don't think I linger here.
Yeah,
That
this
was a
one,
really cool description of one of those meetings, Adam. That was cool.
Thank you. There was a Benny just lying out there for anyone to say the one thing I was expecting, and I know at least half of these people have heard in reference to a Quaker meeting. Can anybody think what it is? You gonna make me tell the joke?
Oats. That's
Very
all I got for
simply,
you.
a woman stands up and says, I'm afraid I wouldn't be such a feminist if I had bigger tits.
You cut out.
You cut out at the punchline.
I'm afraid I wouldn't be such a feminist if I had bigger tits. The line from Fleabag.
Right.
When she's like, the whole time she's like, this is dumb, this is dumb. Oh my God, why am I standing? Why am I standing?
It's almost like
Yeah.
the whole system functions.
Right? Yeah, it's fucking crazy. I also, I was just pleased with myself that I'm like, yeah, Cody, oops, made a Quaker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone who listens to the one voice, is cool with just about any religion, and his name's Friendly. Yeah, easy to mistake. Anyway, it's about, we'll call it 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 1:30. The afternoon's yours. What is the plan?
What?
Do we want to go try to find the place where this that group meets?
You would go up towards the Sioux and and try to find these folks.
Yeah, I mean they're known, right?
Mhm.
So shouldn't be so difficult. I don't
feel
know
like
what to
that
do
is
when
the
we get
next.
there, but
Yeah, just check out the scene if nothing else.
yeah, check the vibe
Yeah.
check.
Okay.
Yeah, this guy could be fucked up, and we do things about those kinds of people.
I think you two are talking about two different things, right? It, it sounds like, Sean, you're asking about investigating the Labor Relief and Aid Society.
Yeah.
Is that accurate? And
Yeah.
Max, it sounds like you're talking about looking into this individual that is rumored to be a conduit similar to Friendly, who is up by the Sioux Nations.
That's what I thought Sean was talking about, but I'm wrong.
Yeah, I'm talking about doing our job.
Yeah. I think that does make the most sense to do the thing we're here for.
Yeah. Also, we don't have Friendly to do the thing that's Friendly coded, so.
Yeah. Well, it's also far away. Like, we got probably days of travel for that.
It is far away. All right, so what's the plan?
We'll pick up Abigail.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's pick up Abigail. Ask if anybody at the inn knows where this place is. You know, if they're, big in town or have a reputation, then maybe someone there knows.
Cool. Let me just check in. Abigail, anything going on while these people were out that we haven't already covered?
Wait, how long did that take overall?
About 2 hours.
Yeah. I guess after the first hour or so of Abigail time, once that's done, she's going to start just asking around because we know the Lala gang is in town.
Mhm.
We had Cornelius tell us about that run-in. I'm just gonna try to. I feel like from what we know of the Lala gang and the people
Mhm.
that they help, the people that I'm currently with are certainly not among the people that the Lala gang is robbing from,
Mhm.
right? So maybe they're getting some of what the Lala gang is robbing in their Robin Hood style. Just
Cool.
talk to those people. Talk to stumble down to the bar. Talk to those people. It's the afternoon. It's the Wild West. I can drink.
Great. Make me a persuasion roll.
This is where everything goes horribly wrong. Why not? I'll spend a penny.
Okay.
This is clearly my strong suit.
Oh God.
Uh,
Yeah, I can do one more. That'll still leave me with one for when things go horribly wrong. Okay.
Okay. What you hear almost universally, right, is just excitement that the Lala gang was back in town. Doesn't take long before you realize this was the second time they've hit New Orleans. Same bank. Once like 3.5 months ago, and once this morning. There's a lot of excitement. There's some frustration from some individuals that they weren't either at the scene of the robbery, right, or at the scene of sort of their final escape from New Orleans, because those were the two locations where they dumped some cash to try and create some
distraction.
commotion. Yeah, to cause some problems. That seems to be part of their MO. You encounter a handful of people, right, that are the overwhelming minority, but you do encounter a handful of people that are not happy about this. Some of them are, well-to-do, and although they may not have been stolen from, they are afraid that they may be. And there are others that are just law and order types that are like, look, I don't give a shit about this like folk hero nonsense. Like, you can't be stealing from people. That's not proper. That's
Loser.
about it in terms of the law. What was that?
Loser.
Nice.
Liquor.
Yeah, that's about it. And we'll say that it's during or towards the end of this sort of casual investigation that you all meet back up.
Yeah, we fill in Abigail on what we've learned. If Ted, do you need a recap?
There's somebody out there with the same powers as my buddy, my brother, my trusted confidant. One of which is, I believe, is hiding out in the Sioux Nation, and then there is something, still something to do with the.
Right. Here it is. It's just
Yep.
one dude, right? He's only heard of one other person, right? Made some rounds trying to convince people to follow him because he was the voice of God, was unsuccessful, got pissy about it, and sort of disappeared into the north.
Yeah. I was saying, and then we also have the other group, the government group, whose name I will never remember for some reason.
The Laborers Aid and Relief Society.
That's the
Yeah.
one. Yep. I'm sure I will forget that
Right.
in the next 5 minutes.
And it sounds like that's who you're looking for now. Is that correct?
I think so. I think that is right.
Fantastic.
All right. Well, let me put the rest of my clothes on, and I will be happy to join you. Well, I'll join you at any rate.
Yeah.
All right, party's over. Get out of my room, all of you.
So just so I'm clear, right?
It's like a clown car in there.
They just keep coming out. Yeah.
No, I'm not spending that much money again.
Right. Were they just lounging in your room as you went down to like investigate the La La Gang?
Oh yeah, it was
Okay.
totally a. Hold on, I'm going to go get a bottle. I'll be right back. And
Nice.
like talking to patrons,
Talk
talking
for,
to the
like, minutes.
bartender. Oh no, yeah, I'm gone for a
Yeah.
good 15 minutes at least talking to people. I mean, nobody's giving me anything.
Right.
So I did not succeed. So like they're short conversations, but it still adds up to like 15, 20 minutes that there's just people.
Right. And they don't care. They're in a nice, well-appointed room. Like they're happy to stay. Finding the local office for the Laborers Relief and Aid Society is it probably takes, a half hour or so before anyone that's heard of it, before you ask anyone that's heard of it, but eventually you do, and they're like, oh yeah, I think it's over in such and such place, and they give you a location. You're able to head over there. It is a a the left half of one of these shotgun shacks has a wood sign out front with Laborers Relief and Aid Society carved into it. You walk in, there are two individuals in there that hi, welcome to the Laborers Relief and Aid Society. Can we help you?
John?
Well, I was hoping you could tell us a little bit about, what y'all do here and your organization. We heard a bit about you through the grapevine and wanted to get to know. I've worked a bit with large groups of employees.
Everybody make me a notice check.
Okay. Got that boy.
Oh hell yeah, I'm on.
Yeah,
Fire.
killing it. Killing it.
Thank God somebody can roll.
Yeah, and
Thank you, Joan.
and narratively this is perfect because Cornelius, you sort of kind of think you're clocking this, right? But Joan, you know for certain that this is what's going on. These two individuals, they're sort of shooting glances, a couple little glances back and forth, and just their demeanor and whatever, you can tell they've clocked you as a person with money, right? And they've gone into full like fundraising mode. They are giving you the whole spiel, thinking that they can try and solicit a donation from you. And what they explain is that the Laborers Relief and Aid Society is a national organization who's originally started as an aid society specifically for miners and miners' families. It had two parts. It raised funds for medical needs for those families and also advocated for better working conditions. Was more successful in the former than in the latter, but wasn't particularly successful at either. But that did not stop the founder of the organization, a Miss Diane Schultz, right, from pressing forward and eventually expanding to cover not just miners, but really anyone who did physical labor. The advocating for safer working environments for all of these individuals has not shown a lot of progress as of yet, but they continue to do that both in state legislatures and in the Capitol, right? And their funds for assisting with the medical needs of laborers is it's used very frequently, so much so that there's never enough money in it. There's always more need, more demand than there is supply. They go on further to say that as the organization grew, more staff was brought on. There's an East Coast Vice President, Felix Mullins, and a Western United States vice president, who is relatively new, came on about 2 years ago, Avery the Angel Sutton, who has earned the moniker the Angel for her gifted fundraising. She spends a lot of her time touring the West, giving speeches to potential wealthy donors, and has brought in a considerable amount of cash. And with that, they then they then roll into, it is great work that we do, and there is much great work to be done, but that work can't be done without resources. And so if you or any of your friends would like to make a donation, there is no donation that is too small or too large to be useful to the Laborers Relief and Aid Society.
Well, I certainly do appreciate what you're doing here. I'd be happy to make a donation, uh, and I'll pull out $30 and set it down for them.
Oh, wonderful. Would you like to be added to our mailing list?
Oh, I never really learned to read. No, I'm kidding.
She just can't help but lie sometimes.
It's a bad habit.
Yeah.
No, I don't really stay one place or another too often, so I appreciate it, but I'll check back in from time to time. Now, this Avery, the Angel, do you know where we might be able to get into contact with them, or do they ever come, into New Orleans?
Well, they do come to New Orleans from time to time, but we aren't privy to Miss Sutton's schedule. Last I heard, she was out in Nevada somewhere, I think, but I don't know how long she'd be there. Not to we greatly appreciate the $30 donation, sincerely, but not to put too fine a point on it, but Miss Sutton probably won't be getting involved for donations of $30. Her
Well, of course, I understand that. Quite obviously, I don't carry all of my wealth on me at any time. Your story moved me. I wanted to donate a $30 out of my own personal walking around money, But I'd like to talk with Miss Sutton about a further investment and, anything else I can do to help. Like I said, this is a cause that is important to me.
Well, how long will you be in town?
I'll be in town as long as I need to be. I want to be able to get in touch. I'll give her or I'll give them the address of the hotel that I'm staying at as a place to contact me.
Wonderful. We will send this up the ladder, and do hope that Miss Sutton or one of her representatives will get in touch with you as soon as possible.
Wonderful. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there anything we can do for any of you, or perhaps you could do for us?
I just look around with the mask still on.
Are you wearing the fucking mask,
Oh
dude?
my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
Charity org.
Hey.
Ah!
they one of them doesn't respond at all. One of them just sort of goes back to their desk. The other says to you, Joan, is there anything we need to do for your friend?
He has a condition. I
She
think
just can't help it.
we'll be getting going now.
Is
Like I
that
said,
is that a lie though? Let's be honest.
I got
Our buddy
50
is
space
wearing
jam.
a fucking sackcloth on.
trust me, you don't want him to take the sackcloth off.
My mama said I
let me
look
know if
real
you hear.
good.
Do let me know if you hear anything from Miss Sutton or her team. I look forward to making her acquaintance. Toodaloo.
Certainly.
And I will leave.
Fantastic. Anything else for the day?
I think we're good.
Fantastic. Same sleeping arrangements? Where did I put that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Yep.
Cool.
I'm. I have to ask this. What were they? Because I don't remember. I think
You
Abigail has her own room.
Yes.
Yeah, rich accommodations.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I thought.
Yeah, you're staying at the fancy hotel. All right.
Just making sure all things Abigail considered. That's all.
Yeah. Excellent. Friday the 25th. Cornelius, you are woken up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Presuming you're not already up. If you are, then you just hear this.
Wake from a nightmare. There we go.
Fantastic. At first, you think it is your own screams, and then you slowly, as you become more and more awake, realize that the contraption that Saint Nick uses to contact you is wailing and wants some attention.
I'll go answer. I'll go start cranking. I'll
Great.
start cranking.
It's
It's all by myself here.
Just cranking by myself in the
Yeah.
train car.
Yep.
But Abigail's got the problem.
I think we all admire Abigail. It's a feat of athleticism.
Right,
she's,
yeah, right, I don't-
actually.
I don't think
No one's
anyone's
got any
described it
issue.
as a problem. Right.
Yeah. It's like when you watch
Uh,
people skydive. Cool, man. I think we'll leave that one for you.
Right. Right. I mean, some admiration, some envy, right? No one's saying it's a problem.
God, that sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah. Yeah, so the voice, sounds like it's coming from that far end of a long tunnel and slowly gets more and more clear. Hello, good morning, good morning. I hope everyone slept well.
I hope so too. Most folks in here, it's just me.
Oh, well, I thought I would catch you all in the morning. Well, I have news about the angel. Would you like me to wait for everyone, or would you like to relay?
I can pass it along.
Well, Avery Sutton, the West Coast Vice President of the Laborers Relief and Aid Society, goes by the Angel. She has been in the post for several years. brings in quite a bit of money, seems to have bought her way into the position, given how much money she brings in. History prior to that is rather sparse.
No,
She's
no news about family she grew up with or
well, she
married into.
has been with the organization for about 8 years. Right, the last 2.5 is in the role of vice president, and as I said, seems like not unusual for an aid organization, but it seems like she has bought her way into the position with the amount of money she brought in. Prior to that, there's some record of her spending several years in where did I write this down? In Devall's Bluff, Arkansas. She had purchased considerable amount of land there. In fact, she had at one point owned most of the land of what is now Devall's Bluff. Best we can tell from our records is she was digging for something, had a considerable crew there. Mining, perhaps? There was some speculation that she thought there were coal deposits in the sort of central eastern portion of Arkansas. Others thought that she might be looking for a religious artifact, but it's unclear what she was looking for, whether she found it, or why she left. I think it's quite likely that if we are looking for answers about her motivation, Devall's Bluff might be a good place to start.
I think you might be right. That sounds like, if nothing else, we can ask questions about what was really out there or what people might know. Might be folks who even worked the job still living in the area.
Yes, well, hopefully it will be fruitful. Have you found any other leads while you've been there?
Oh, we did speak with some folks at the labor and reliefs the laborers aid. Oh, good grief.
Yes, and what did
Have
they say?
he kind of just repeats what they have
Mhm.
taken in, which is not much new info for
Yeah.
Nick.
Understood. And how have you found Miss Laveau?
A delightful person.
Has
Truly.
she talked to you about the sympathetic harmonic frequencies yet?
I will be honest, that turn of phrase does not ring familiar to me,
Oh, well.
but you have intrigued me deeply.
Wait, how does she say it? Oh, yes. She likes the sky snakes.
Could you give me the phrasing of that again, Adam?
Sympathetic harmonic frequencies. He will go on.
That
What's that, Ted?
oh boy, I know someone will take issue with my use of the term vibrate, but things that resonate. There we go. That's the
Yeah.
Just
He-
cranking it while it vibrates.
Yep.
He will go on to explain that his explanation for what's going on, he'll explain two things. One, his explanation for what's going on is that the evil that is being set across the land is a result of sympathetic harmonic frequencies of evil. You leach more evil into the ground and more evil will come out, and they just resonate off of each other, right? Causing each to grow in size, right? He'll also explain that the reason among the reasons he sent you to New Orleans is that all of his allies have explained to him that when he says this first, no one understands what the fuck he's talking about. Right. And they basically put him in his place and said, you need to let somebody else tell it in a more like folksy fashion, right? Before you talk this nonsense, no one would understand it. Right. And I can only imagine at this point somewhere Abigail's teeth are grinding.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say.
This sounds more insane than the other answers we've gotten, but Cornelius won't say that. I think I don't know that we have any questions for Nick, and I'll just tell him we'll radio him before leaving New Orleans. And we'll let him know if we're taking the box with us again.
Great.
And then I'll go find everybody else for breakfast and pass that along and try to recount what I understand sympathetic harmonic frequencies to be based off of what he has said, and probably not do a very good job of it.
Yeah, I mean, Abigail's quite happy to cut in.
I'll let you.
She will just explain
Right.
what that means.
Right. And I imagine Abigail's got some slight bit of attitude, which is like, oh, finally some fucking science in this goddamn town. Excellent. What's the plan as y'all sit around eating beignets and have powdered sugar mustaches?
My plans: order another tray of beignets.
Hell yeah.
Fuck, I like that plan.
You know what? Why don't we take a break and take 15 minutes and we'll come back and discuss what the plan is. How's that sound, everybody?
Yeah.
Cool. one thing I forgot to point out at the top was, I believe, in the players folder, you should see a new folder in there that is allies.
I
And I
peep my
think
boy.
you
I'm
all,
always
right, you all have control over your boy, James Martin.
My God.
And just in case you were curious,
Baby
James
girl
Martin.
has survival skills. Love that.
shut up for them. Hey,
He
James,
also
that
has
gun is
taunt.
pointing
That's
towards
cute.
your face. I won't let that be known to you, bro.
All right, team. What is the plan?
Get more dynamite.
That solves all of our problems.
Right.
I'm putting my $14 from the other night into the dynamite fund. Now that I'm
I
thinking
love
about
it. Right, that's just the plan going forward. Is every news stop along the way, we're blowing it up. We'll sort out the pieces later.
it. Cornelius into gamble. We'll generate some money. I'll buy dynamite, and then we'll
Right.
handle the problem.
Yeah,
Love
we've
it.
had first dynamite, yes. Okay, so we're in New Orleans because something's going on with this like labor group, right? They're we believe they're the front for, you know, evil.
I don't know about that because Avery the Angel is the person who was speaking with the Hellhounds about this great work. But she bought her way into this organization, and it's been a while, so maybe you're right. But I don't know that this place is actively doing evil right now.
I think it sounds like she's a corrupt CEO. I mean, vice president. It seems like she has gained a hold of a lot of power and is using that as a means of
Her original
control.
name was Elena the Angel Musk.
Mullins, you said?
Musk, Elena Musk.
Oh,
As
oh,
in,
fuck.
It's only funny to me because it hurts.
Aw. I think. I mean, we learned that she's in Nevada, or
Or
is
last,
rumored.
no.
Yeah. But we could head out to Arkansas for Duval's Bluff.
I think that's a good next place to go. I think I'd like to talk to the clerk at the hotel and pay them like $20 to hold any like mail or contact that comes for me until I return.
Okay. Sounds good.
We sure there's nothing to do here? Because, I mean, we came here.
We came here to talk with the Queen and learn
Yeah.
like who the angel was. I think we've done everything we came here to do.
I mean, there's no longer a great evil on its way that's about to erupt here.
You you want to look into some voodoo stuff over here? I mean, we're in the voodoo capital.
Is there more voodoo to look into?
I don't know, but there's one character that does voodoo. We're in a
Yeah.
voodoo place.
Yeah.
I mean, we've made a connection with Marie Laveau. I think that's an important thing, and unless she has, I don't know, a task for us to do next. I think having her as a contact, someone that we can get in touch with and that kind of thing is what I'd be looking to get out of being here.
Well, I mean, if we don't have anything else to do, yeah, we can talk to Sister Winter and see about moving this whole thing along.
Yeah, I think it'd be good if we took a train. I think take the train, then save our legs.
In the
Okay.
Vader?
Let's talk through a couple scenarios then. Duval's Bluff is about, it's sort of central Arkansas, sort of about here, right? Which the good news is it's not too far from the train tracks. The bad news is that not a lot of good north-south routes on the train, right? So the train, although the safest and most comfortable way to ride, in this circumstance is actually going to be the longest way to ride. You've got to sort of go east, go northeast and loop around and then come back down through Memphis. That's going to take you between 5 and 6 days, right? The shortest route is actually catching a boat up the Mississippi River, right? And then you've got a couple options, right? Either getting off just outside of Memphis, right, and hopping a commercial train and taking that down, hopping off a little bit earlier, getting some horses or whatnot, and riding out, right? Or getting off, it's actually sort of down in this location, right? And then taking like a keelboat up the White River to Duval's Bluff. That's the shortest method, right? That'll probably take you 3.5 days, right? The other thing you can do is just get on some horses and carriages and start riding up. That's probably midway. That'll take you 4.5 days, right? So, steamboat up,
Riverboat.
right? Riverboat's the shortest, but it's sort of the least amount of freedom because you're locked in to where the boat's going and what it's doing. The train is the longest, right? Has a little bit more freedom just because there's a lot more stops, right? The most amount of freedom is obviously just riding on horses. You can go wherever the fuck you want to go, right? But it's probably the most dangerous and it's about it falls at the midpoint in terms of time it's going to take.
Yeah, I think we should just hop on a boat as far as we can, and get there quickly. That would be an option to get us back here quickly if we needed to also.
You had me at Riverboat.
Okay. Excellent. So, so I'm clear. Are you taking the riverboat to Memphis and then either hopping a train or getting horses, right? Are you taking the riverboat up to, I don't know what's here, but it's about that location where the White River breaks off and then getting on a keelboat?
I vote that option. Another boat.
More boats.
2 boats.
Well, yeah, more boats is fine. That precludes the ability to bring our cart, so we will have to get horses or walk outside of that. But yeah, riverboat.
Also, just to be clear, you don't have a cart.
Sister Winter does.
Yeah, I think we got a cart. I'm pretty sure we got a cart.
Okay. But you are correct. That's probably not getting on the steamboat.
It's the riverboat. Is this a casino riverboat? A gambling boat?
Oh my god! Tell me what.
Hold on. Now I got to look at these goddamn maps. No, it is not a casino boat.
Damn.
If the other trying to get on the train.
Because the train has gambling?
You remember the gambling guys?
Oh, yeah. True.
Okay, let me. How do I want to do this? Oh, that's great. Why is that not working? Okay. Oh, here. All right. While I am making some adjustments to the map, if someone would be so kind as to look up if there's on the travel page in the Deadlands book, if there's a price for taking a boat, and if not, we'll just use whatever the train prices are.
Transportation, riverboat per mile, 5 cents.
Ooh.
So 20 miles for $1. It is, in fact, the same price as a train ticket. 5
Awesome.
cents per mile.
5. This trip is, we'll call it $20 per head.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it is. What do you mean it's not bad?
Some of us haven't been spending money.
We haven't exactly been bringing in a ton of money either.
Yeah. Some of us also have been losing money in poker.
Get good.
I know it's tough.
You know, if we keep spending like this, we're going to end up like the Lala gang and robbing banks just to make ends meet.
We're taking the train.
That a problem?
All right, just to be clear, anything else y'all want to get accomplished while you're in New Orleans?
The dynamite.
Oh shit! All right, we getting down.
Yeah.
Are you buying more?
Well, the last 2 times we have needed dynamite, we have had to leave town to acquire dynamite. And I'd rather not have to do that a 3rd time if we need it.
Sure. We have 1.5 pounds of dynamite so far. Who's carrying all this dynamite? Because it can't be me all the time.
Also, can that come with us? Is that going to be an issue as far as bringing it on a ferry?
I mean, nobody's checking your shit. So unless
Cool.
you
Love
announce it,
that.
right. I mean, there ain't no TSA.
Sure, but
Yeah. We got 3 sticks so far. I mean, I can hold more. I do have more space, but
I'm okay with what we have if we still have some. That's fine.
we have 3, which is
it?
okay. We could have more.
Well, Sean, do you want more or no?
Look, 6 would be better.
Oh my god!
Okay, how much is
$3 a
it?
stick, right?
I don't know. It's in the thing. Yeah. But it's like there's like a break point. It says it in the weapon thing, not on the item, which is annoying.
Yeah,
it's like
$3 per stick.
yeah, it's like it's it's this big, and then every other stick starts adding on the size as well. 6 is, I mean, 10 was big. 6 will be big. I mean, whatever
Six
we
is
do with it.
still 5 or 6 sticks is 5 or 6 is identical basically.
Yeah, you have to like get a certain amount to hit the next part
Yeah.
of like I think it's like damage upgrades or something. It's on the thing in the weapons compendium.
I'll buy
Yeah, I
you
can
3
hold
more
it.
sticks.
Okay, 3
Yeah,
more sticks.
I hold it on my person.
All right, fantastic. I'm going to move you guys to the boat, and I'm going to explain a little bit about what I'm doing with the map, and then give you an opportunity to put yourselves wherever you would like.
Cool.
Okay. Can everybody see?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
So what you should see is the 4 different levels of this boat. Right?
Hey, Tom Cardos. I love this
Yeah.
stuff.
Um
Follow me
the
on Twitter.
the map at the top is the top level. The map at the bottom is the bottom level. You can figure out where everything else fits in. I've debated with myself about drawing lines in between each of these maps so you can only see one at a time. I've decided against it
Fucking worth it.
because if you look at like the bridge here, right? It looks like that's going to be visible, or certainly the front bridge. Maybe this is a better example.
Yeah.
The very front of the boat, like that's going to be visible from every level, right? And I just don't know how to. I'm not going through the process of making a multi-level map here. Not that I didn't try, but I bailed pretty early in the process because it's too complicated for my small brain.
To be honest, like
Mhm.
given the zoom required to really identify walls and tokens anyway,
Mhm.
I'm not going to be looking at more than one level.
Right.
Maybe 2, especially given there are 4 levels.
Right.
That's just not.
Right.
But
Well, I mean,
it'll all be kind of consolidated combat. We'll still be able to see from
right. I
whatever
mean,
we
I
target.
right. I just imagine that if you're, let's just say you're at the very top map, right, and you're on, this sort of bridge level, right. If something's going on the very front of the ship, right, but for whatever reason that's on the bottom map, you'd still be able to see it. So I want you to at least have that option, you know. And I think this is the best way to do it. If anybody's got a better idea of how to accomplish this, I'm all ears.
No, it's this is fine, and we make the reasonable adjustment to can you or can you not see something.
Absolutely. Great. So as it stands right now, all of your tokens are on the bottom map, right? You are free to locate yourselves just about anywhere you would like to be. I would say places that are going to be sort of off limits, like any of this storage space or the engine room on the bottom map are probably going to be off limits. Similarly, the bridge right on the top map is going to be off limits, but I think just about anywhere else probably reasonable that you could be in there hanging out.
There's
Make
a bar
sense?
in the second floor. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm going to catch a
Some of
smoke
these
on
people away
third.
from the door.
I think you can smoke anywhere.
Yeah,
I
it's
know, but I like
1880.
smoking
You can
outside.
literally smoke wherever the fuck you want.
Yeah, you haven't even gotten to the part where doctors recommend smoking yet.
Right. Right.
And all it
Shout out to
takes
Abigail.
is $50 to Abigail.
Yeah, I don't even know. Now I've got to Google it. I don't even know if pre-rolled cigarettes are a thing yet.
I don't think it is. We've had to talk about buying paper and stuff. I think that we have to buy our own tobacco and roll.
Oh, actually,
You're
Red
bumming
Dead
off some
Redemption
guys.
takes place around this time, and I mean they've got
the
pre-rolled
dev-
cigarettes cartons.
dev-
You can
the
get cigars for
development
5 cents in the general equipment ledger, so I
Sounds
can't
like
imagine
Adam has an answer.
cigarettes.
the development of cigarette making machines occurred in the 1880s, which means this is just about that time. So while they're probably not like available en masse, I can certainly imagine that there's some, common good stores where they have a cigarette rolling machine, and as probably almost as a novelty, are like, "Ooh, get your pre-rolled cigarettes here."
Ugh, that'll never catch on.
Well,
They think they can roll a cigarette better than me.
You think a machine can roll cigarettes?
there's a great line in, I wish I could remember the name of the movie, but it was a murder mystery, like suspense type movie starring Kenneth Branagh and Robin Williams. And Robin Williams was explaining to Kenneth Branagh that he smoked for years, and in an effort to try and quit, he decided he was only going to smoke cigarettes that he rolled himself, right? And he thought just the fact that it would slow him down and it wouldn't be as convenient as just pulling a cigarette, but it would take a few minutes every time he wanted to smoke, that would get him to slow down and stop smoking. And Kenneth Branagh goes, "Well, did it work?" And he goes, "No, I just got better at rolling them."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually quite therapeutic.
It
Okay.
unfortunately
Mhm.
it adds to the thing that is already a comforting ritual another step that is
Yeah.
getting ready for and excited about upcoming
Preach,
ritual.
Max. Preach.
Yeah. It is unfortunately a psychological treat he has given himself.
Yeah. Okay. Has everybody sort of positioned themselves where they want to be? Let me see if I see everybody.
Where am I? No, I am not going to be there.
Oh, switch rooms.
I'm just I'm looking at the little rooms and the spaces in them. I realized how big that room I'd dropped myself into was, and I was like, I don't know.
Ah,
This looks like a lounge type area.
there.
And it's on the
Gotta
third
take it.
floor.
Joan, kudos to you for finding the bar right quick.
Oh yeah,
She found it fast.
Yeah.
She actually ran to the bar as soon as we got here.
We walked on deck, and she knew exactly where to turn.
Look, I mean, I'll say
I've
this
been
much.
on a riverboat before, honey.
Right. I'll say this much. I'm the one who downloaded this map, and I didn't know there was a bar on it. So she found it quicker than I did.
I generally did not know there was a bar until you brought it up. So
Okay.
This is tangent. This is barely related, but that reminds me, Sean, did you know that on the last map of reclamation game, that last dungeon we crawled, one of the rooms we went into had like a stripper pole in it?
Yeah, there were some things.
Yeah.
It was
Okay, you saw it. Okay.
yeah. Look,
shout out to that dungeon.
it could have been a couple different things.
Sure.
There were.
The thrust stage is with a pole in the center could mean many
Could mean
things.
many things. Yeah, look, it's a sci-fi map. Who knows? Look, it's Space Stripper.
But honestly, I was happy with the idea of space elf strippers. That's a fun concept.
Yeah, that's what Spelljammer is really all about.
That's what Jammer is about, right?
That's what the Jammer part is.
What? Fuck, I should have played.
Okay.
Throwing silver pieces.
Sorry.
No worries. Everybody set? Thomas, you want to be down on that main deck?
Yeah, I feel like Thomas wants to see.
Right. You want to get
I
up
feel
on the
like-
bow and extend your arms out and
No, nothing quite so pedantic, please.
Nice.
No, I feel like this. I feel like this might be his first time on a boat as to this form.
Mhm.
I think he probably would have been a boat much in his younger days, but yeah, I don't know if he's done boat stuff recently. Yeah, so I'm just like down here having a good time.
cool. What I need.
I can't tell if my vision is having problems as Thomas because I'm just zoned out.
Nice.
Anyway, he's just
Nice.
lost in this moment.
Love it. Joan, do you remember if you made a random travel roll last session?
Yes, I believe I did.
You did. Okay.
Can
Uh,
I volunteer to roll travel because I've never yet rolled on it, and I think it's because my name is maybe at the bottom of
Well,
the list
yeah,
of players.
it's exactly why I asked Joan, because you're next on the list.
Okay.
So let
I
me.
was,
Please let me roll.
Actually,
I was like,
haven't done it.
yo.
I think I should get 2 this time.
Oh,
Actually,
excellent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck Tom.
All right. Hit it, John. Let's see what happens.
Okay. So many dice. A lot of ones in there, guys.
hopefully that doesn't matter.
Or the giant sea monster.
The River Kraken.
We have been
Whoa.
told this is a snake.
Okay.
But I'm a bobcat.
On your first day of travel up the Mississippi, you particularly leaving New Orleans, it smells sort of briny from the sort of brackish water. And as you head up the Mississippi, the whine of the steam engines turning these paddles, it is relatively pleasant and uneventful. The eagle-eyed amongst you see a few coyotes along the right riverbank that are sort of running and playing and seem to be either running alongside of or chasing this steamboat. Doesn't last very long, but just an entertaining sight to see. And later in the afternoon, you see some buzzards circling and occasionally diving down on the port side of the ship, but disappearing into the landscape. For what reason, you do not know. Your fellow patrons on the boat on this particular day are not very talkative or communicative. It seems like everyone is just trying to get settled and figure out the lay of the land. That is that will take us to the 26th. What is that? Oh, no, that's that. Who is next? I believe Abigail. If you would be so kind as to hit that button.
Get random.
Let's get random.
A lot of twos.
Okay, even more boring than the first day. Nice clear skies. It's I'll tell you one nice thing about boat travel in the South at the end of July is it's quite a bit cooler than sitting in a train car, and certainly cooler than riding on horseback under the hot sun. So not at all unpleasant. The river itself is relatively calm, not too crazy. At lunch, for those of you who enjoy it in the dining room, there are a group of travelers that describe an interesting experience they had in their travels where they came across an old prospector's mining camp. They spent some time trying to figure out if anyone still lived there. Were probably exploring for a few hours before they found the body of the unfortunate miner who had slipped and injured himself and was unable to recover.
Damn.
Did you hear of any claims of otherworldly gold or treasure?
Well, I mean, are you talking about at this individual's mining camp, or are you just talking about in general?
Both, I suppose.
Well, there was nothing supernatural about this situation. Feller looked like he was trying to carry some heavy equipment, slipped on a rock or something, hit his head, and bled out. Poor soul. We were able to find some identifying information, so at least we could notify the next of kin. Daryl over here donate 50 cents to the burial fund. In terms of in general, well, everybody been traveling out west have heard, got some story or another about supernatural gold, about people heading into the hunting ground, coming back from the other side with vast fortunes of gold, massive rocks. Of course, coming back from the hunting ground ain't easy. You come back changed. And the real question is it changed worth that gold? You hear Daryl chime in, well, you bet it is worth that gold. Rock as big as old, rock as big as my head. Hell, you can change whatever you want. Shut up, Daryl. No one asked you.
I'd seen articles in the paper about disappearing miners returning back from hell and cursed gold and that sort of thing.
Yeah, see, that's the very thing I'm talking about. Now, I've heard lots of them stories. Hell, I told some of them stories. But I ain't never met a feller who'd actually come back with any of that gold. You see what I'm getting at? Daryl chimes in again. Says, yeah, I see what you're getting at. They take that gold. They ain't going to tell anybody they got it because now they're rich. They hide that away from every... Shut up, Daryl. That ain't what I mean at all. I mean, maybe folks just making these stories up to sound important or to sell papers.
I found that some of them stories is true. Most of them, actually.
About the gold?
The gold, the vampires.
This guy's speechless, but Daryl from the other end of the table. You've seen a vampire?
No. But I have seen the undead. A couple of them might have had sharp teeth. In fact, I think some of them did.
Well, it's been lovely eating with y'all. They get up and leave.
Just chasing down some Tadler leads, that's all.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. All right. Cool. Night number 2 is in the books. So wait, that's 1. That's 2. Okay, so we're at 3, which is Monday the 28th. How do I keep losing this thing? There it is. All right. Cornelius, if you could hit that button for me.
Yeah, 1 sec. Sorry.
Yep, no problem. No
Get
problem.
stuff together. All right.
Yeah, that's all right.
All right. Okay, where do I need to go? Sorry.
Just go in chat. You should see a button that says "Let's get
Oh, yep.
random."
Ah.
Just click that button and watch the chaos. Oh boy.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a lot of dice.
Thank you. Thank you for calling me to participate.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Just after dawn, Thomas, you lose vision in your left eye for about 30 seconds. And it comes back, and that's that.
Who's fucking spying on us through you, man?
I don't know. As it comes back, I kind of do like checking like hands working, feet working, right? I do like some basic body maneuvers to make sure like that everything is functioning. I do like the look around to see if I just see the dock, like if they just happen to be nearby where I am. But I don't think they are.
I will. I mean, obviously, you guys are moving as the days go on, so I will let Abigail make that call as to whether or not they're anywhere near you.
I think it's one of those things where it's like Thomas like thinks about like he keeps forgetting to say something to the doc about this because like everything comes back normally. I think it's that moment where he looks to be like, I'll tell the doc, but I don't think Abby is around.
Okay.
And to see, right? So the problem just continues.
All right. Make me a common knowledge check, Thomas.
Yeah, sure. A 4.
Yeah, you seem to remember something about there's something about you can tell how much fuel you have left by the interval of something. That just crosses your mind after your eye was blinking.
Hmm. Yeah, I'll go look for the dock. Yeah, that feels like a little more problematic. I'll step in to the bar area.
Mhm.
Wave down Joan. You seen the dock anywhere?
I mean, unless the doc has been here, no.
All right. Well, if you see her, let her know I'm looking for her.
Oh, absolutely. Um, I'll be here.
You doing all right?
Yeah, yeah. I've never been super comfortable on a boat, but this seat's the most comfortable in the house. And she
Hmm.
kind of raises her glass.
Well, I'm sure everything will be fine. You were a good swimmer, as I recall, anyway.
You've got a good point. I guess I hadn't really thought about that specifically, but it's just something about the motion.
I'll tip my hat to Miss Broussard and see if I can find the dock.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, at some point you find the dock. This is not a
Yeah,
game of
cool.
hide and seek, I assume.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
also
this is-
some space on the boat.
yeah. We spend the day crossing paths. You're in the
Nice,
bar.
yeah.
I'm on the deck. Cool. When I catch you, I approach you and say, "Doc, you got a minute?
Sure.
I think there might be water or something getting inside, splashing up from the paddles or something. Having trouble with one of my eyes."
Okay. Let's go to. We'll go find somewhere, and I will take a look.
Hmm.
One of the rooms. Find
Yeah,
a
we'll
spot.
just go back
Grab
to
my
our
tool
spot.
bag and.
Excellent. Abigail, you know that left eye's the fuel gauge, right? It blinks at intervals depending on how much fuel is left.
That's a weird design bit. Oh, what was that doctor's name? Mortimer or something? It just doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it being strange when they put it in, but it's the one system in Thomas that you didn't have much to do with. There's a fuel cell in there, right? That Ghost Rock is involved with somehow, right? But it's a closed system, right? And they made it clear, whomever the doctor was, made it clear that it was experimental, and the object of it was that they couldn't have their automaton of the future operating with Ghost Rock that was on fire and had open flame and needed a giant, box of sand as an emergency system, right, to douse the flame if it started burning too hot. So they concocted this new system. It's in a sealed canister in his chest.
I will take a look, but I think the answer is you're running out of fuel.
Like, can't be right. We should have more than enough.
Well, you have been operating in far more rigorous circumstances than I think was originally anticipated. Or maybe the batch was just bad. I can try to take a look, but this is the one thing that I didn't really have a hand in.
Hmm. I suppose it kind of begins to make a bit of sense. This has been going on for a little while now. Everything kept working. It would sort of stop for a couple moments and then get back to working again. So I didn't think much of it, to be honest. Probably a few weeks, maybe.
That's concerning, especially
Uh,
since
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
we have limited access to anything while we're on the boat.
Well, surely there's plenty of whatever in there to get us where we need to go.
Can look. Let me. I'm gonna have to open your chest cavity.
On the fuel cell that takes up most of the chest cavity, I mean, you've seen it before, but this is just a reminder. You see the following sequence of numbers, right? Which you know to be
Fibonacci
that's
sequence.
yeah, and those are the intervals. It's a not surprising. It's a naturally occurring phenomenon, but that is the rate at which the indicator blinks to indicate that that's how many days of fuel are left.
And judging by what I've been told about by what I've been told about the eye going out, can I estimate how much fuel is left?
Well, let's try and work it out. I mean, Thomas, do you remember the last time? You know, it went off today. Do you remember the last time your eye blinked?
Maybe a few days ago.
I'm going to need you to be as specific as possible.
Well, it didn't happen yesterday, and it didn't happen the day before. It's been a little while.
What? Oh, actually, looking at your sheet, it doesn't make a difference. Make me a notice or a common knowledge roll to see if you could remember when the last time it was.
Sure. I'll do a common knowledge. Nope, just like I says it.
Yeah. Right. So, you know, it wasn't yesterday and you know, it wasn't the day before. So that means it's not 1, 1, or 2, right? So that means you've got at least 4 days left. Anything more than that, it's hard to say.
Okay, and how many more days are we on the river?
This is it. You could stay on for another day and end up in Memphis. That's the next big city coming up. But as it stands, you were going to get off here and take a keel boat.
You think there's enough in there to get done what we're doing?
This, but we are headed to where?
Duvall's Bluff.
Right. It's basically central Arkansas. So you're
Okay,
heading
so
here.
It's not on the map. That's why.
No, right. The plan, as I understood it, right, was to get off the steamboat about here and take a keel boat up the White River to here. Right. Central Arkansas. It's just above
Okay. Yeah.
northeast of Little Rock, right? But you're essentially be getting off here. If you ride for another day, you can end up in Memphis.
But then it's a farther trip to. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's really not that much farther from Memphis to Duval's Bluff. It's just you would have taken another day getting to Memphis.
You think we need to Ted Sean so we can get you stuff and then just take the L on the couple of days? Because we'd be able to find your resources more likely in Memphis.
True.
I mean, if we can get done what we're doing and take care of it after, then that's just less a hassle for everyone.
Sure, but Thomas, if you just stop working, that's a bigger hassle than any of it. I don't know how well any of us can carry you.
All right.
If you feel like we could make it, then I don't see a reason to waylay us, really. But um, this might be an instance of better safe than sorry,
Well,
given that we didn't get it in New Orleans.
I think, given what it might take to get me what I need, you might end up being sorry. Doc, is there any way you might be able to fashion what we need out of Ghost Rock? Or are we going to have to go to the source?
I think I can fashion this stuff. I
Um,
haven't even taken a look at inside, but
here's what I'll say, right? Although you're not at all familiar, right, with what's going on in there, right? You're pretty bright. You've done the rest of it. Like it would certainly be better if you could just get a fuel cell and replace the old one with a new one, right? But you know there's Ghost Rock in there. You just know they found some way to get the energy out of it without burning it, right? You could probably figure that out. The other thing that I'll point out, right, and we can talk about this after session or in the intervening week, right, is I know as part of your Ironbound Edge, right, you have contacts, right, that are still sympathetic to you, right? If you want to reach out to some of those, I don't know that any of them have been named as of yet, right? But that's something we can figure out, in the intervening week, should you want to go that route. But if you'd rather just get your hands on some Ghost Rock and be like, I can fix this. Like,
I mean, I have Ghost Rock. I bought
Yeah.
some at the start of the campaign, so
great. Yeah. So, I mean, if you think you can fix it, great.
I have some time throughout the rest of today. We're supposed to land today, but I can see what I can do in the meantime. Hopefully I can refill the cell and it won't be a problem. It won't necessitate us going out of our way for a day.
If you think you can do it, I'll trust you.
Okay. Let's do the following. Abigail, roll me any die you like, right? And On an odd number, you can undertake this process. On an even number, the other event that's happening today is going to happen before you can undertake this. Okay. Great. While you're
Well, we knew that
having
was
this,
gonna happen.
right, while you're having this discussion, and while you are, no, that's not what I wanted. While you're having this discussion and getting your stuff together and finding a place where you feel comfortable doing this sort of work, you hear, at first, it's on this upper deck, right? You hear somebody's ringing a bell, and then other staff of the ship, you hear bells ringing in other places, clearly in a reaction to that initial bell ringing. You hear, if you're on this top deck, right, you'll hear it first, but soon these calls will ring out from staff across the ship, warning everyone. You hear somebody scream, "Skitterlings!" And those of you with an eagle eye will see it first as a couple of them start crawling up the bow of the ship. Actually, just for shits and giggles, if everyone could make me a common knowledge or an academics, or if you think you have some other skill that would allow you to know about creatures of the Mississippi River.
What were the options again?
Common knowledge, academics, if you've got something else that you think would, give you insight into horrific creatures of the Mississippi region, that would be great. Okay.
Possibly occult.
I don't think so. No, I don't think in this case.
Yeah, no worries.
I went Book of Animals education roll instead of
Nice.
Book of Freaks roll.
Okay. Joan, you're too enamored with the martini or whatever cocktail it is that you're drinking. You're not even paying attention to this.
I just know well enough to be afraid of the Mississippi. That's
Right.
all that matters.
Right. Franklin and Cornelius, you've heard of skitterlings? They're like these. They're sort of the size of like a big hog, right? Like you thought they were. You thought it was like an old wives' tale, really, like just something to scare people about the Mississippi. They about the size of a hog. They sort of like a frog, sort of like a fish. They've got a claw like a crab. Like it sounds like nonsense. Abigail, you know exactly what a skitterling is, and it's like about the size of a hog. It's a big hog. It's part frog, part fish. It's got a shell like a crab. It's got a claw like a crab. And all of you except for Joan see that crawling up the bow of the ship. Right. And right. You see that thing crawling up, and a couple of you see one or two more claws crawling up the bow, and we will call it right there, and we will deal with these skitterlings and Thomas's fuel problem next week.
Woo.